Hello, everyone. Bruno here, streaming for home. I'm supposed to be there, have some issues. I'm here. So thanks all to the amazing team that really helped me to set up this remotely. And we are going to talk about AI Foundry or Foundry. I like to say it Foundry, but it's AI Foundry for .NET Devs. And we have here, let me introduce myself a little more. Name is Bruno Capuano. I'm the principal cloud advocate in the .NET team, do a lot of stuff with AI and .NET. And if you know me, you probably know that I don't do a lot of, I like the slides, but I like to show the demo. But hey, if you are new to Foundry, think about that AI Foundry is basically the place that we have in Azure to do anything AI related. And when we talk about AI, is basically create AI services, create model, publish our custom model services and more. And we also have tools there. It's not just about models. This is a quote from one of the Scots that we have, one of the Scott bosses that we have here, where we talk about everything you need to do AI. It's in AI Foundry. And this is amazing and it's great. But at the same time, when we start to talk about what we have in AI Foundry, we found that we have, as I said, models, which is popular. You have GPT models, you have meta models, models from Mistral and more, but you also have now support for agents. We have an agent service, of course. We are going to talk about agents. And we also have tools, and this is the important part. If you are deploying a model, in example, you probably want to have some tools to evaluate your model. If you are deploying a solution that involves some AI feature here and there, you want to evaluate. And you also want to have tools for security. You want to validate that your solution is not going to have some jailbreaks attacks or more. So we have a lot of tools to do evaluation, security, and more as part of Foundry. So when I was building this, and this is the V2 because I rebuilt this for me, I was thinking, okay, what can I do? How we can show Foundry for the people so the people know what to do. And I say, let's create a chat application. So I created a chat application because, yes, we talk about AI and more, but this is not the standard chat application that you have there. I'm sorry, I'm taking a look here, which is my monitor right now. What we have here is a chat that is literally pulling 3 or 5 models all together from AI Foundry, and we put it all together, orchestrated and more. And this is what we have. Nobody asked for a new Bruno there, but this is a Bruno where it's there. And I can start to talk with Bruno right now. So let me start my microphone. There it is. Hey, hello, Bruno. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks. Glad you found the mic. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. What can you tell me about the .NET Conf 2025?
I don't know the specifics for .NET CONF 2025 yet, but here's what you can usually expect and where to check for official info. Big announcements and a keynote from the...
Okay, I'm not going to leave the fake Bruno to do everything, but this is literally a couple of services working all together. And yes, it has some delays, so it goes more expectation. You know that this is live when you have this, but let's take a look at what we have here. Of course, we have everything orchestrated by Aspire. It's amazing. I love it, Aspire. I love how with Maddie and Damian and Fowler and everyone else, they are talking about this. This is amazing. Everything that I do right now is do with Aspire. So I have basically here Aspire helping me to set up connections for OpenAI, because we're doing chat, also connection for speech, not supported, but I'm going to show you how we have, and the front end, which is a Blazor application. Yes, not React, not whatever. This is Blazor, and you can do amazing things in Blazor. This is one example of this. What we have here in the back, if I go here, this is the APP host. And I'm not going to explain this is a lot, but we have a lot of basically a front end running, and then the magics happen on Blazor. And this is the moment I'm going to stop a little and switch to AI Foundry. Right now, and I am going to make a blog post explaining this a lot for next week. Right now, what we have here is a front end, which is the browser, as you mentioned, is host. It also has a UI in Blazor, which also uses WebRTC to show the video, the avatar video, and it's using SignalR, WebRTC, and all of the super cool technologies to connect with a couple of services in AI Foundry. We have a couple of chat completion services. We have agents also there. I'm going to get there later. We have the speech service. We have configuration service to basically manage all of these secrets. And then in the back, of course, AI Foundry hosting all of this. But when you are a .NET developer and you start to build these solutions, you find that sometimes the path is not as easy as expected. And we are talking about Foundry. And when we talk about AI Foundry, we talk about, hey, this is enterprise-ready solution. So everything that I'm showing you today, it's ready with everything that we love about Azure. Traceability, scalability, observability, security, and more is part of Foundry resources. However, if I go to start to take a look in example of my models, I'm going here to Foundry, let's go and take a look at the models. We've been doing models for a long time, and if I pick up one of the popular models, like in example, a GPT-4 Mini, I can go and play with this model around in the playground, and this is great, and this is amazing, and I have here a view code option. And the view code option is basically showing, hey, I'm a C# dev here. I want to use the Azure OpenAI SDK, and I have here the 20, 30, 50 lines of code that I can run and use to do these models, which is great, which is amazing. I mean, if I want to use this model, GPT-4 Mini, I have here the code to do this. I just literally copy and paste here in Visual Studio Code. I'm using the file-based app here, so you can take a look at the packages on the tops and everything here. And if I .NET, oh, we don't need to do .NET run anymore. I like that we can do .NET 01 and then run this. After a couple of seconds, I am going to be able to basically use this and run it. And it's great, it's amazing. Most of the stuff that we have in AI Foundry, and I will say probably 99% of the stuff, they always have the view code option. So if you want to use services, AI services for speech, for video, images, chat, and more, you will have some sample codes plus the MS Learn documentation and more to do this. But I am a code person, so I like to see the code first. And you can see here the crappy solution, the crappy response that how can I assist you today, because I didn't add anything here. By the way, not using, I like also that they give you here the option to do this using Enter ID or key authentication. If you want to do stuff with key, don't do that. Try with this, but if you go to production, always use Enter ID. However, when we move to new stuff, in example, if we go to see other models, we can start to take a look at image generation models, like Flux 1.1. I love this model. This model is amazing. This model is great. It's not the standard GPT Image 1 that we have here, but if you take a look here, we have kind of a playground, and we have here the view code, and we still have the code sample here, and we still have the C# sample here, which is great. However, if we switch to Sora, video generation models, that's a completely different scenario. We can go to Sora, we can go to the playground, and where is my code? We don't have the code here, we don't have anything. So we need to start to play around. Oh, sorry, let me go back to the models. We need to start to see here an example in Sora to how we can use this. And this is the moment where we only have, and by the way, it's not only, all of the services in Azure AI Foundry have an HTTP endpoint. So if we know how to do an HTTP call, we can use those models. This is a sample scenario. This is a sample code that we have for this. If we want to generate a video, we need to call this URL, we need to define the content type, we need to pass the API key, and then we have right now only 4 parameters here to pass, which is the model to be used, Sora 2, and then the size, the prompt, and the seconds of the video. But we have amazing tools right now, like GitHub Copilot. So we can literally pick up this from the 2 to the bottom and say, hey, Copilot, generate me a console application that do this. And after a couple of seconds, and I'm not going to do it because I iterate this a couple of times. And after we do this, we will get really cool stuff like this one. This is generated with Copilot tools to do this. And it basically is going to read a couple of user secrets, endpoint and API key. In this particular scenario, I'm using API keys. Remember, testing, then we move to production, we go for Entra. And then I'm going to basically create the Sora HTTP request, and I ask Copilot to add a lot of login and more to have a better traceability of what we have here, which is cool, which is amazing, because right now, if we only have the HTTP request and the SDK is not there yet, usually came there, but takes a day, 2 days, a week or more, we can start to test these things literally with this. And one key thing, well, if I have to give an advice of this, when we were talking with the team about how we are going to do this, if I want to give an advice, I will say that, hey, it's super important that besides Copilot, You also have the Azure MCP server. This is the three that I always have, and Context 7 is not here, but I also use Context 7. But we have I usually have a couple of MCP tools that really help me to have kind of a very good quality of the writing and generated code, and I iterate several times to get here. But the Azure MCP server is the one that's going to help me to make this Azure enabled. So I can literally deploy this to Azure and also learn what is available in Azure to do this. Learn, documentation, we need to use it, is there. This is what I use to do stuff. And also NuGet. NuGet is great because we have a mess sometimes of, I open some projects, sometimes we have a mess of dependencies and upgrade everything to the latest version and everything needs to be coordinated with the latest whatever. The new MCP server for NuGet, it's crazy good. But with this one, I am happy, I am good enough to go there, and I am not going to do Azure development right now, so I didn't select that one to do this. But with this, I create this application. And we have Sora 1 and Sora 2 right now. And Sora 1 and Sora 2 are two different models. You can deploy the models in Azure. They work really great, but they're different. The way that you invoke and use those models are very different. But at the end, I am going to go back here. The only difference that we have is we need to change the way that we do an HTTP request. And there are third-party people who are creating sample wrappers to do this to make the life easier. Otherwise, in one moment, we are going to have the Microsoft Extension AI video, whatever. I don't know. I need to speak to the .NET team to see what we are going to create to support this. But hey, we can create videos right now. So let's create one using Sora 1, an example. And my video is two puppies playing soccer in the moon using a cartoon style. It's going to take a couple of seconds because the way that these video generations models works is different. So the way that you do is when you generate, it's not chat completion, it's not image generation. You basically ask the model to do something. This triggers a job, and then you have a job ID, and then you need to queue the job ID status. So we are going to have pre-processing running. The Sora one takes for a 4-second videos, 5-second videos take 10 seconds, 15 seconds, depending on the day. I hope that my team is not doing anything crazy here, but I have my video here already deployed and generated and downloaded. And if I have and I want to run the Sora 2 video, this is going to take a little longer, take a couple of seconds, probably 20 or more. And while it's generating, I want to share with you the important part here. We are going to have libraries to work with a couple of things. Like an example, chat completion. We have Microsoft Extension for AI, which is amazing. We are going to have libraries to work with agents. Crazy good and amazing. Speech. We are almost there, 50-50. We can do speech, but we can't do speech with Aspire right now, but we can connect the dots. Aspire is fully extensible. David and Damien show how you can extend Aspire to fit where you need. I extend here to have the speech services available to be orchestrated with Aspire here. If we don't have this, if we get to the point that we have a model or something in AI Foundry that is not available yet, we always will have an HTTP endpoint so we can write the code to do that. So while I am waiting for the video generated, let me show you the Sora 1 generated video. So let me go back here to open my VLC. So this is the Sora 1 generated video. Cute, two puppies playing and more. And let's take a look at the Sora 2 generated video. Four-second video, sorry, two puppies playing soccer in the moon, and yes, soccer. I'm from Argentina, world champions. I have soccer all around in my veins. Love it. Sora 2 has audio. You can write huge prompts that I can also add audio and more there. But in this scenario, I want to show you how, even if we don't have an SDK to work with this, we can still call the HTTP endpoint and generate our video. But we get to a point, because everybody's talking about this, we get to a point that, hey, you know what? How about if I want to do, agent? How about if I want to do agent framework? So as I said, we have the Azure AI Foundry agent service. So agent framework is super amazing, super extensible, and it supports extensibility with agents. So I can pick up my crappy avatar demo and more and make it work with agents. So what I am going to show you, and I recorded this 3-minute video, and then we are going to see the code, is how we can do that, because the agent framework allows you to create agents. When you create an agent, you can create an agent using an LLM. That's perfect. But you can also create an agent that will be hosted and run in Azure AI Foundry. Or if you already have an agent created there, you can ask agent framework, hey, give me an agent based on that agent that is running on the cloud. And because the agent is running in AI Foundry, you will have access to all of the features that are available in AI Foundry when you have agents there. Connection to MCP tools, to connection to other agents. Remember, this is an Azure service, so it's going to be scalable. You have a lot of cool things to do there. And what I like about this is that when we are here, the agent framework is part of the whole AI Foundry ecosystem, and we can start to connect the framework with literally everything. So I use Copilot, and I say Copilot something like, it wasn't one of these. When I publish the repo, you're going to see the history in one of the repos, the prompt is there. I say, hey, implement another version of my crappy avatar custom demo that also use agent framework with agents running on AI Foundry, because this is the place where we are going to host our agents. We can start and testing locally and then move to AI Foundry where we are going to production. So with this, I'm going to play a video with the full demo running on the cloud. This is the Azure AI Avatar demo, and here we are using different Azure AI Foundry services. The whole idea is that we are going to have an agent. This agent can be a direct LLM-based agent. We can use an agent with agent framework with OpenAI or OpenAI services in the cloud, or in this scenario, we are also going to have the chance to use an existing agent. I already have an agent here in Foundry. The name of the agent is dotnet conf 2025. So let's copy here the agent ID, and then I think I also need the Foundry project, the endpoint project. And important about this agent is using the GPT-4.1 mini model and a very simple set of instructions. You are an agent responding to user language, short sentences, and more. So let's go back here, copy the project and Foundry project, and save the configuration. Once we have this, I already have created a custom avatar here. And this avatar is basically me. And I can ask questions here. My agent, by the way, doesn't do anything fancy. It's just an agent with a model and instructions, but doesn't have any tool, knowledge, and more. So what we can do right now here, if we go back here, we can ask a question, like an example, what can you tell me about .NET Conference 2025?
.NET CONF 2025 is an upcoming virtual event by Microsoft focused on .NET technologies. It usually features keynotes, technical sessions, and demos about the latest and
kind of working and give me some information. There it is. But we see here that it doesn't have the latest great information. This is because the agent is not connecting to any data source. But this is super simple to do because we are using .NET, we are using agent framework, we are using a lot of things here, and I can go here to my agent, connect the agent, example, to Bing search, grounding capability. Let's use key face configuration. There it is connected. Once we have this one here and we ask the same question, we should get a different answer. And while this is working and the first time is already get the agent, I can go back here to my traces in Aspire, and I can start to see an example here, how we are seeing...
.NET CONF 2025 is a free virtual 3-day event happening from November 11th to 13th, focusing on the launch of .NET 10.
Okay, we have more information here. This is kind of nice, and I need to improve my subtitles. And by the way, me speaking with myself is kind of a weird one, but this is nice in the sense that we have everything here. It really using the agent. If we go to the threads here in AI Foundry, what we can see is that deleted threads. Let's go to the playground. We can see here the full response, and we see here also that, hey, it's using the tools, it's using the grounding with Bing search. We also see how it took kind of almost 20 seconds, it has, I don't know, 5,000 tokens or more. And we can even go here to the thread logs where we are going to see how the conversation started. We had the tool calls, we had the Bing grounding and more. And we didn't ask for the reference here, but we can even ask for the reference to the direct link of the Bing search to get .NET Conf. And this is an agent working here. And once again, it's working with me here and it's answering the questions in the language that we expect. It's kind of nice. So let's go deep and see what is happening in the back. So we just see the agent, and hey, I did the recording because the connection to the agent and more takes some time. And as I said, we have everything here in Foundry. Let me go back here to Avatar. We have here the agents and more. We have everything here in Foundry to work, in example, with agents. And again, we have the agent framework that allows us to connect super easily to AI Foundry agents and work with these agents. Out of the box, these agents have literally support for threads, connection with tools, orchestration, and more. Even so, I will, and this is personal preference, I will probably manage the orchestration by myself using the amazing agent framework stuff. I know that Maria and Jeremy, they talk a lot about agent framework, so we have a lot of things that we can do there. But hey, if you want to see how easy is to run this and to create an agent framework, an agent using agent framework from the AI Foundry ones. So what we have here, it's literally the 10 lines of code that you need in agent framework to connect to an endpoint, get your LLM, and then create a chat client. And with your chat client, you can create your agent. And this agent is kind of a new in-memory agent. But if you already have an agent in AI Foundry, it's literally the same. The main difference is that we are going to use persisting agent framework here framework here that is going to give us access to the project. And when we are in the project, we can create an agent, like here, where you have an agent, create a new one, you put a name, instructions, tools, MCP tools, and more. Or if you have the ID, you can get an agent. And once you have the agent and you get the agent, it's going to basically allows you to talk with your agent, and that's it. It's as simple as that. And as I mentioned before, if we run this one, and I think I have my credentials here, this has also a loop in the bottom where we can start to chat with the agent. We are going to see that by default, there it is, my console. Oh, I need to put my secrets here. So this is not the right one to test right now. I'm not going to start to put my secrets here. This is what's happening with live demos. But what is important here is right now, this agent does not persist any kind of, the threads are all isolated. But I can get here, if I want to persist all my conversation, I can do something like thread, AI agent, get new thread, that's it. And then when I am doing my conversation here, I'm going to have my thread here, and that's basically it. Now, everything that I talk with the agent is going to have in one thread. And because we can persist the threads, and we can add this thread, and we can basically put a stop today, get back tomorrow, and see how it's working, we have so many things that we can do. And finally, if we go back to Foundry, let me go Foundry to my real-time demos. And I go to my agents. There it is, these are my agents. And I go to my thread. I am going to start to see here, probably this one. Let's take a look at this one. I am going to go to the playground. And in this one, I am going to see that, hey, this is the .NET Conf, the one that we see. And if I ask the question again, who is speaking in the day 2 of the .NET Conf 2025? We are going to see in the agent in real time. And let me zoom out a little. We are going to see the Bing search that we have here, and we are going to see the log, the threads log with all of the questions. This is all part of the same conversation. So we have full traceability and more here. Getting close to the end, what else you can do with AI Foundry? As I mentioned, we only see chat, but we also see a custom avatar, which is kind of a fun, but super popular. It's becoming more popular. But we also have here, if we want to see in the playgrounds, we can do stuff with chat. In example, yes, videos, agents, image, and more. We have tools, in example, to do fine-tuning. Fine-tuning, this is where I fine-tune an agent to use my image. Again, nobody asked for that, but it was a fun experience. We have the content understanding. There are a couple of preview services that you can use there, but you can, this region doesn't support content understanding. Oh my God, I need to fix this one. We have tracing. This is amazing. We can connect everything that we've seen and we like. In example, in the dashboard of Aspire, we also have it here because we are using APP Insights. Remember, AI Foundry is enterprise ready. So at this moment, if I open one of these post, we are going to see the thread where we are going to see how we are calling here one of our Microsoft AI telemetry. Somewhere here we have an LLM that is creating a thread where we have full traceability of everything that's happening in your application here. And again, this is APP Insights, full support for everything here. So I hope you can try AI Foundry, give it a try, really. If you're going to do something that requires AI, you need to go and use AI Foundry. I'm happy to chat, happy to help, and not the video, the last one, happy to answer some questions, and I hope you like it. And once again, thanks to organizers that helped me to be here virtually, because, hey, I really, really want to talk about this.